For more on what's going on in Arizona, we'll bring in Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona. Congressman, thanks so much for coming on. I'll get to the coronavirus stuff in just a minute, but I just want to get your comment here on the news of the day here and the sanctions put on China, protect those in Hong Kong, you know, lending out a helping hand, if you will. But is that enough as far as taking action against China? Keep in mind, COVID-19 started in China.
Well, it's a good first step, certainly, but China is a major problem for us. A lot of people view them as an economic competitor, but they're not an economic competitor only. They are now essentially in a Cold War state toward us. They have, with everything from the virus to the stolen IP, everything that they've done to undermine our economy. They're really more than an economic competitor. So there's a lot of things that we need to be doing. And one of which is to, in my opinion, and I've said this to the administration, I think it's something we should do as the Congress, is we should reimpose what we had before, which was a non-distribution or Cold War era implementation of restricted product dissemination with China. You know, their human rights abuses are one thing. And that's something that we can continue to leverage against a little bit. But what's more important to me is what they're doing to our economy and our country.
And talking about the economy in our country, but specifically the state of Arizona, as you know, we've seen cases go up, and half of the cases among young people. I don't want to get in the weeds with you about are young people doing enough or the cases are going out. There's no fear-mongering happening here. What I do want to ask you about, though, why do you think we are seeing younger people with it? Is it that they're going back to their jobs and they're forced to be tested, or they're taking precautions and they're going to get tested? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the first thing we do know in Arizona, in the last 3 to 4 weeks, we've actually doubled the number of tests. So I think that has some reflection on it. A lot of jobs now are requiring that you get tested before you come back to work. And so you're naturally going to see more testing. But we have so many people who are asymptomatic within that age group. They didn't even know they had the virus. And so they go, they get the test, and they come back. So it may not all be testing, and I don't believe it is all testing, but it has a significant portion of that is the testing. Other things that we have in Arizona that really reflect on this that most people don't talk about, I saw some articles comparing California, but we have the same issue going on in Arizona, and that's the two counties with this, the biggest spikes are right on the border where we have our two largest ports of entry. So we have a lot of cross-border transmission and increasing in those two counties as well.
Yeah, it's interesting to note. You know, I know Arizona is one of the first ones to be able to open up and move through the phases. Where are you today? Did you guys roll back? Did you pause? What's happening in Arizona?
There's been a rollback, and it is exactly what you mentioned earlier, and that is in the places where young people congregate. By the way, young people are the most capable of withstanding this virus as well. But gyms are down, restaurants closed again, water parks, even tubing along the river, which is a big activity in Arizona. That's been shut down as well.
All right.
And yeah, that's what's going on there.
So it's targeted towards young people then, and I get that from the tubing aspect, right? You're going after a certain age group.
Yeah, it looks like it to me, but the problem is, where we still have the highest fatality rate and the biggest problem is still with the senior group. 75% of fatalities in Arizona come in that group that has about 15% of the cases, and that's the over 65. And then when you start adding in the over 55 crowd, you are sitting 80% or just under 80% of the fatalities there. That's why I say that the youth, the younger folks without comorbidities are much more able to withstand the illness.
I got 10 seconds left for you. What's the next step? When do you let people back out again? And is there a threshold of cases? Is that what you're looking at? What's the indicator?
The governor hasn't said. I think we should be getting back to it and letting people make the determination themselves, because I think that's really important as well. And also get the schools back open. I think that's important too.
A lot of people agree with that. Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona. Congressman, thank you so much for your time.